Right guys, we have a 2015 Mazda 6, and what happened to this car, I got a call from the customer and he had drove the car from inside the house to outside the house, and when he came outside he put on the handbrake, he went in to close the gate and he came back, and when he hopped into the car he could not release the handbrake. So it's an electric, as you can see there, electric motor handbrake, so it's a button start inside in the car, and when he couldn't release it he called me. He was stuck, he didn't know how to go about it. So what I done was brought down a scan tool and stuff, landed the car, see what I was up against. When I was there I went through the the park and brake release program. It's kind of a strange one. You press the ignition on and stuff twice. I'll actually show you there in a second because I have to go through it again in a second. Maintenance status I believe it's called. But what I'm going to do now is I have ordered, I couldn't get a new one because we're in this COVID-19 thing, but I got a second hand one. I rang the customer, asked him, he said, yeah, go for it. Couldn't get spurious, couldn't get a main dealer, couldn't get it anywhere. So we're after receiving or getting our second hand caliper here, which is exactly what we're looking for. We're verified, I suppose, before I actually ordered. I got the carrier as well, but I don't need to change the carrier. But if you can see here, what we have is we have the brake pads are quite worn on that carrier and on possibly on the car that we got it off of. If we look in here, I'll show you that the actual pads are quite good on this one. So what we have to do is we're going to have to get the actual caliper or piston here to push back for us. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run through the procedure to go into the repair setup for this back brake calipers, okay? I also then I'll show you, I took a little video of how I got the caliper off. I couldn't do it via scan tool, via anything. Sorry I didn't get to show it on camera, but I couldn't get it off at all. I couldn't get the parking brake to release here by sending power into the caliper, by tipping the caliper, by anything. I'll show you the fault codes also maybe when I plug in the scan tool again. But my main problem at that point in time was to get it off the road. So I run through the process. I went through and I'm going to put in the video to show you what I done to get the actual caliper off. It was kind of a little bit brute force, but right on the side of the road, it was the only way I could do it because I didn't have a recovery truck at hand or any of that, and I wanted to move the car as fast as possible. But I'll show you what we done in the next snippet, okay? I'll also show you codes and stuff. Right, what I'm doing is, because the brake caliper is stuck on, I actually started getting my screwdriver in here. So the caliper is stuck at this point in time. The wheel still won't turn. So the brake is applied because the motor has failed in here in the caliper. What I'm doing is I'm going in here with my screwdriver and I'm levering, and I'm also at the same time going in here via a tire lever. So what I'm doing is I'm just pushing one side and then pushing the other side, and it is coming off. So yeah, there we go. Just try moving and wiggling around from different points, different sections. And I think we're going to, oh we got it. Sorry about the movement of the camera. I was trying to do something queer that wouldn't be. There we go. Handbrake, caliper off while the brake is applied. Okay, now we can get to changing it. Before I do the reset procedure, I decided to change the caliper because there's no point in me releasing the brake calipers without an actual caliper be connected. So what I'm doing, that's the old caliper that's coming off. This is the new caliper going on. What I'm going to do though is I'm just a little tip. I'm going to just hold it there with one hand. Now the caliper in situ, or sitting roughly where I'm going to want it to sit. Okay, I'm going to sit up my brake line. When I'm fitting the brake line, always don't just put the brake line in when it's kind of, well, the caliper is hanging down. Actually put the caliper where it should be so there's no stress or strain on the brake line. And I have the brake line pushed in at this point, and then I'm just fitting my, probably should have put a light on my head so you can see it better, but I have the clip gone on just while the caliper is hanging in place so I don't have any stress or strain on my actual pipe. Okay, went fit. Just for ease sake, what I'm going to do, I'm taking out a brake pad at this point just so I can actually hang my caliper where I wanted to be. Apologies with me going one-handed. All I'm doing is taking out my bolts, and I'm going to hang the caliper in where it should be. And then once I hang the caliper in, I am then going to connect the caliper. So I should have my circuitry intact. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the block connector on. Lift this up. Yep, I heard a click. Now what I have is I have the caliper hanging there, just hanging there, it's not bolted. I have the brake line fitted and tightened. I have the actual electrical circuit connected. What I'm going to do while I'm here as well, I'm going to open the actual bleeder, and I'm going to leave this thing gravity feed while the piston is back. So when I put it into the service mode and I start trying to push back the actual piston, I'm not going to force air back up. So I'm going to open the bleeder now. I'm going to leave whatever air out, leave a gravity feed out, while I'm actually setting the brake service procedure up, okay? Okay guys, we're inside in the Mazda 6 at this point in time. I'm actually getting the scan tool up and running for you. I have it connected down here. First we're going to turn on the ignition, okay? Then we're going to, I find sometimes that it'll be quite close, my camera, to be quite close to the scan tool and stuff, and in the cockpit. Maybe I'd like if I could get it back further, but I can't. Anyway, we're going to go for Mazda. Unfortunately, I haven't been in this vehicle with this scan tool. It was the other one, the Verus Edge that I have out in my van. So we're starting from scratch here anyway, 2015, and we're going to go for automatic ID. Which it's taking its time doing. Yay. Okay, Mazda 6, new model, which is correct. We'll say okay. And then electric parking brake I'm going to go into, okay? Just what I'm going to show you is maybe some of the fault codes that I had beforehand. We have, as I saw there, caliper hanging on, electrical connections connected again. But right now I'm probably after creating a fault code by disconnecting the caliper. So I will have an extra code, but right now probably going to have 3, maybe even 4, I don't know, but I had 2, and I'll point out the 2 that I had originally for you. I didn't do any more testing or checking. I thought I was okay with codes. You'll see where I'm at. So I'm going into codes now, okay? And memory codes. Okay, right. This, we had C205 electric parking brake motor gear unit right hand mechanical failure. It's not saying electrical or anything, it's saying mechanical. Then I come back here, I have C112A incorrect electronic brake motor gear unit position. Commanded position not reachable. So this kind of says to me, we have a failure with this one, and then it's trying to make the caliper release or apply, and it's unable to do it. And because of that, those 2 fault codes, I said, right here, we're done. I looked in through the wheel, could see the wires going onto the caliper themselves, a little bit fast visual, they all looked intact. So at that point, I didn't do any more. So there's the position right now. We have a caliper, we have it fitted. So you're going to come with me and see if this is going to work. Electric parking brake motor gear unit, general electrical failures 2. It's possibly going to be that it's actually seen 2 wires having an open circuit rather than 1 wire broken, because I unplugged the connection of the caliper in order to move the car. So this fault code down here, right, I ran out of memory on my phone, so I'm doing it on an iPad. Just going to show you what happened to me here when you got lost. Those 2 fault codes stayed there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to clear codes. Now the funny thing about it is they don't go away. So now, without testing, I haven't got them gone. So we're in the funny position. We must go back. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back again. I'm going to see. We'll go and do that for the crack. We'll clear all fault codes in case there is another system that's seen fault codes and not happy with what we're seeing. That could take a minute. I thought it's actually done it fast. Okay. Again, it's very close to the screen, so I'm apologising for that. I just can't. I'm not able to get it back any further. Code menu, memory codes. Yeah, okay, right, that's still there. Okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to run through the. Go back. Okay, I'm going to run through the handbrake release procedure. Okay, where we're going. Sorry, I thought the button was on the other side. Okay, I'm going to turn off the ignition. All right, I'm going to turn the ignition back on. So that gives us all our dash lights on. Then we press, if you can see, press the accelerator here straight to the floor. We're going to press and hold down the handbrake. And now I have to leave the iPad going, but I have to press 1, 2, 3. I pressed the start button 3 times. You can actually hear the motors. I don't know if you can. No, winding back, and I'm leaving off this. So after running through the service procedure there now, you saw it. Press the start button twice, turn on the ignition, press down and hold the handbrake button, and press the accelerator to the floor. Okay? And that is that bit done. Then you come back to your start button again and you press that 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and that puts your handbrake into service mode. Okay, and that's what I've done right now. What I'll do is I get out, I'm going to wind back the brake caliper, and once I have, this is an awkward, usually my phone would be better and it's easier, but I'm going to wind back our brake caliper. Also, I can see at this point in time, little catch can down here, I have brake fluid coming from my brake caliper. It's only small, but that has bled the air out of it. So right now we get our little spanner and I'm going to squeeze up my bleeder. Okay. Possibly could have, maybe even should have left the bleeder open to push back the caliper. Might be a bonus, but I'm not going to right now. Get my brake pad caliper wind back to just to show you. Okay, it's just a standard straightforward wind back tool. It doesn't need to turn the caliper. I'm doing this again single-handedly, but you can see it. Might be a savage picture, but you don't actually need to twist the piston back. Okay, the way you do on other cars, on the Mazda, once it retracts, it's just a straight return back. Okay, you don't actually have to twist it back. That's only me trying to fix that little dust cover. That's a little bit not correct in there. Okay, then we'll fit our brake caliper. Okay, we have the brake caliper fitted on the back of this Mazda. Then we're going to press on the start button twice to turn on our ignition again. Now to get it out of service mode, what we have to do is kind of the opposite to what we were at. Press our accelerator again, pull up and hold up the handbrake button, and now I don't know, again I have to leave this tablet go. You can see it pressed the start button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now I don't know if you can hear it, but the calipers are actually winding back in again. Okay, that is service mode exiting procedure. that's it. That's how I go and change the caliper. Hopefully you'll enjoy this video. Like and subscribe if there's any use to you. Sorry about the camera work. I'm not a great cameraman. That's it. Thank you very much. See you again. Thanks YouTube. Sorry, we're actually wrong because I never showed you about our fault codes. So we are, as we call it at this point, incomplete. Right, we had 2 fault codes that we couldn't get rid of. And park and brake. Okay. Codes. Remember we couldn't clear those 2 fault codes a moment ago. We actually have 3 fault codes at this point in time. There are the 2 we have here. We have electronic park and brake control module, maintenance mode, deactivated. Right, so we're going to go back out of this. We'll clear fault codes. Yes. Clearing fault codes. Continue. Memory codes. No codes present. Okay. So, a bit of a gamble. Whoop. Going without doing a whole load of testing on wires and stuff, but I just thought from the fault codes I was clear, I didn't need to. We're done. No fault codes. Car ready to go back to the customer. Okay. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.